This next stitch I'm going to show you is another foundational one in embroidery. It's like the best texture stitch out there. So it's called the French knot. We're going to bring our needle up directly through the point where we want the knot to land. I have it up. My working thread is different in a different place than the tail, and I am going to just wrap the thread around my needle. For this one, we're going to wrap it 2 times and then bring my thread or bring my needle down right next to the dot. I don't want it to be on top because if I pull it through in the same hole, the knot will come unraveled. So now I slowly pull it down while keeping this back thread tight. And there's your first French knot. I'm going to come over here and make another one. This time we're going to do 4 wraps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then bring your needle down right next to the edge of your mark and keeping that back thread tight, which if you're holding the hoop, it's pretty easy to do, to pull your finger and hold it tight and pull it down through the center. On this one, if you guessed it, we are going to do 6 wraps. And the more wraps you do, the more tricky it is to get the knot to lay flat and to be in the area where you want it to be. So if you find that it's hard to pull the needle through, that's because your thread is wrapped really tight on the needle. So loosen up the tension back here just until you get the needle, the eye of the needle through the knot, then pull it tight again. And slowly pull your thread down through to avoid tangles. Now, that one was actually pretty good, but if your knot starts going in all sorts of funky places, the trick to these is bring your needle up right next to where you want it to be, and then take your knot, find the center, or close to the center, and stab it in, and use that to kind of tack it down. You won't see much of a difference at all on the knot, but it'll not only put it in the right place, but it secures it. So on these bulky ones, you can see how much they come off of the fabric with the different number of wraps. And that is your French knot. When you're done with this, instead of tying this off with the other stitches, we are going to tie it off with a knot. So this time, instead of going underneath and wrapping it and tying the tail, I brought my needle through the loop to make a knot. And I'm going to use my other fingers to hold it tight and keep the cross of the knot right next to the fabric. Then I bring my finger down and hold on that cross and pull the other thread through. By holding your finger down, you're keeping that knot right on the fabric. That way it keeps it tight. And I am going to just bring my needle back under to kind of twist it and secure it. If you got it a little far away from the fabric, you can always tie a second knot. Then I'm going to trim the tail. And there are your French knots.